The stars above Mars were quiet. Drex Forn stood in the command center of the Vigilant Dawn, watching the red planet spin slowly beneath them. The colony down there, New Horizon, had gone dark 3 days ago. No calls, no signals, no warnings. Just silence. "Commander," said Lieutenant Rhea, her voice low, "we're not picking up any life signs." "None." Drex didn't speak at first. He clenched his jaw and narrowed his eyes at the screen. 3 million people lived down there. Families, children, engineers, soldiers, all gone? "Launch the drones," he said finally. The scout drones dropped through the thin Martian atmosphere, gliding over the colony's shattered surface. The camera feeds came back in seconds. Drex's stomach turned. Buildings were melted into twisted metal. Roads were scorched black. Bodies lay where they had fallen, some curled up, some frozen mid-run. Whatever happened here, it wasn't natural. It was a slaughter. "Sir," Rhea whispered. This was a weapon. Biological signature. Engineered. A red warning light blinked on the console. Encrypted message incoming. Drex opened it. The contents were chilling. Operation Ashfall complete. Threat contained. Authorization, Galactic Council. Priority, silence. He read it 3 times. His hands began to shake. "They did this," he said. "The Council did this." The Galactic Council, supposed keepers of peace, order and law, had just wiped out a human colony. No trial, no explanation. Just vaporized 3 million people like they were nothing. "Rhea, send this to Earth Command. Full encryption. Eyes only." She hesitated. "Do you think they'll believe it?" Drex stared at the screen. The image of a child's toy half buried in ash filled one drone's feed. "They'll believe it," he said. "They have to." Hours later, Earth responded. A formal protest was sent to the Council. The reply came swiftly. "The Council has no knowledge of any unauthorized operation on Mars. Human loss is regrettable, but accidents happen." An accident. Drex felt rage boil inside him. This wasn't an accident. It was extermination. A private call came from General Rourke on Earth. "Drex," he said, "you need to let this go. The Council says it's handled. We can't risk a war." Drex looked at the feed one last time. The ruins of New Horizon, his brother's home, his nephew's school, all gone. "No, General," Drex said. "It's already a war. We just haven't fired back yet." He ended the call, turned to Rhea, and gave his final order of the day. "Prepare to disappear. We're leaving the fleet. From now on, we're not soldiers. We're resistance." The command crew went silent. Then, one by one they nodded. Drex Forn didn't know how yet, but he would make the Council pay. Drex Forn vanished. The Vigilant Dawn dropped off all official trackers, slipped into deep space, and reappeared days later near an abandoned mining station in the asteroid belt. This place had once been a thriving hub for rare metals. Now it was a cold shell, perfect for hiding. Drex and his crew got to work. They stripped out the old mining systems and built a command center. Solar shields hid the station from long-range scans. Rhea, his second-in-command, reprogrammed drones for security. Supplies were tight, but they had enough to begin. Drex called it Outpost Ember. He sat at a round table in the command chamber, surrounded by 5 people he trusted with his life. Veterans, fighters, survivors. Some had served with him in the border wars. Some had lost everything to the Council's silent rule. "We can't fight the Council head-on," Drex said. "Not yet. But we can make noise. We can show the galaxy what they really are." "Do we even know what they're planning next?" asked Juno, a tech specialist with quick hands and a sharp temper. Drex opened a file. "Yes, I intercepted this before we vanished." He tapped the display. Lines of alien code filled the screen, translated into plain language. "Target: Europa Human Research Station. Council classification: unstable. Risk level: high. Clearance to neutralize." Gasps filled the room. "They're planning another wipeout," Rhea said. Drex nodded. "They're cleaning house. Silently, they think no one will stop them." Everyone at the table went still. Then one by one they agreed to fight. Over the next few weeks, Outpost Ember grew. Drex sent encrypted messages to old allies. Not many responded. Some were too afraid. Others didn't believe the council could be behind such things. But a few did answer. First came Kordax, a former alien mercenary with a long scar across his face and a quiet hate for the council. Then Ilya, a rogue AI engineer who once worked on council defense networks. They brought ships, weapons, and skills. Drex welcomed them all. One night, Drex sat alone in the station's observatory, looking at the stars. He thought of his brother Jonah, a teacher at New Horizon. Drex still remembered their last call. Jonah had sounded proud, showing off his son's first science project. Now they were both gone. Drex didn't cry. He couldn't. The anger in his chest burned too deep. Rhea found him there. "Rest is important too, you know," she said gently. "I will," Drex replied. "After the council answers for what they did." She stood beside him, silent for a while. Then she handed him a list. "What's this?" "Names. People reaching out." "They're ready." Drex read the names. Soldiers, scientists, pilots, people from Earth, Mars, and even a few alien colonies. They were scared, but they were angry too. "The resistance is real now," Rhea said. Drex nodded. "Then it's time to show the galaxy what the council tried to hide." At dawn cycle, they sent out the first transmission. A simple message, broadcast on every free channel. "This is Drex Forn. The Galactic Council has crossed the line. Mars is proof. We will not stay silent. Join us." The message spread like fire. On some planets, people cheered. On others they whispered. The council labeled it terrorist propaganda. But seeds of doubt had been planted. The war had begun. Drex knew it wasn't a war Earth wanted, but it was the war they had been forced into. The resistance had grown. Ships drifted into Outpost Ember from every edge of the galaxy. Old cargo haulers refitted with weapons. Mining vessels with armored hulls. A few real warships, stolen, borrowed, or gifted by silent allies. Drex stood before his crew in the main chamber, pointing to a glowing map of a distant star system. "This is our first real strike," he said. "A council research facility on Virix 9, hidden, guarded, and full of secrets." Rhea stepped forward. "According to intercepted data, they're experimenting on live human prisoners, survivors from Mars and Europa. We get them out, and we get proof." Silence filled the room. Then Kordax, the scar-faced alien, spoke. "Then we go, and we don't leave anyone behind." The Vigilant Dawn jumped into orbit above Virix 9 in the middle of an asteroid cluster. The facility sat on a black rock moon, shielded and quiet. Council patrols circled it every 6 minutes. Drex led a team of 10. They used a stealth pod to land on the far side of the moon, hiking across its surface in magnetic suits. No words were spoken over the comms, only signals, hand signs, and the soft crunch of boots on rock. Inside the facility, the truth was worse than expected. Rows of pods lined the walls. Humans floated inside, alive but unconscious, wired into machines. Many were children. Some showed signs of forced DNA manipulation. Their skin shimmered under the lights. Their eyes twitched, not fully human anymore. Ilya, the rogue AI engineer, hacked the security feed. "They're using these people to test weaponized evolution," she said. "They're trying to design a better species. Loyal, controlled." Drex's fists clenched. "Download everything. Then we blow this place to hell." Suddenly, alarms blared. The council had found them. Kordax barked. "Incoming troops. 8, maybe 10. Heavily armed." Gunfire lit the corridors. Drex and his team moved fast, shields up, covering each other as they fought their way out. Ilya carried the data core. Rhea covered the rear. A plasma shot grazed Drex's shoulder, burning deep, but he kept moving. They reached the shuttle. Just before boarding, Drex turned back and saw one boy, still inside a pod, eyes wide open, staring at him. He rushed back, smashed the controls, and pulled the boy out. "I've got you," Drex said. They escaped seconds before the facility exploded. sending black smoke into the stars. Back at Outpost Ember, the resistance gathered. Drex stood before the crowd, bruised and bandaged. Behind him, a screen showed footage taken from inside the facility, images of tortured prisoners, mutated children, and council symbols everywhere. "This is what the council does in the dark," he said. "This is what they want to keep hidden." He uploaded the video to every major public network, every neutral planet's comms relay. Within hours, the galaxy was watching. Council officials scrambled to block the transmission, calling it fake. But it was too late. The proof was out. People were angry. Even some within the Council's own species began asking questions. The resistance wasn't just an idea anymore. It was a fire. And it was spreading fast. Drex watched the stars outside the window. His body ached. His heart did too. But he felt something new, something he hadn't felt since Mars fell. The message was clear. Humans were no longer welcome in the galaxy. A week after the raid on Varex 9, the Galactic Council officially labeled humanity a rogue species. Every human colony was now marked as unstable. Trade was banned. Patrols increased. Anyone caught helping humans would be punished. And worse, Council warships were on the move. Trex Forn read the alert in silence. The Council's flagship, the Judicator, was heading toward Earth's moon base. It was not a visit. It was an attack. "They're coming to wipe it out," Rhea said, her voice tight with anger. "Then we won't let them," Trex replied. "We defend it, no matter the cost." The moon base Luna Command had been Earth's first deep space station. Old, underpowered, but still standing. Hundreds of civilians lived there. Scientists, families, retired officers. They had no real weapons, just shielding and a few outdated defense turrets. Trex didn't care. He sent every resistance ship he had. The battle began before dawn. Council warships arrived in full force, sleek, silver monsters, bristling with plasma cannons. The vigilant Dawn and its fleet emerged from the far side of the moon, engines burning, weapons hot. "Target their engine cores," Trex ordered. "Hit hard, then vanish. Fast and sharp." The resistance didn't try to match the Council's power. They outmaneuvered it. Kordax's ship skimmed low over the lunar surface, drawing enemy fire. Rhea took out a Council cruiser with a well-timed EMP blast. Trex led the assault himself, piloting through heavy fire, guiding his team with sharp, calm commands. But they were outnumbered. A Council dreadnought locked onto Luna Command. Its main cannon charged. Inside the base, children huddled in shelters. Scientists scrambled to shut down power grids, hoping to draw less attention. Trex saw the cannon light up. "No," he shouted. "Shield it. Get in the way." Two resistance ships moved. A human freighter and an alien support craft, volunteers from a distant colony. They rammed the dreadnought together. Both ships exploded. The dreadnought's shot went wide. The moon base was saved. The battle ended with heavy losses. 6 resistance ships destroyed. Hundreds dead. But the Council had retreated. The news spread fast. People on neutral worlds watched the footage. How humans fought not to conquer, but to survive. How they died to protect each other. And something changed. For the first time, alien species spoke up. A group from the planet Velen sent supplies to Outpost Ember. A rebel cell from the Threxian belt pledged their ships to the resistance. Even a small Council member, Rintal, withdrew its support from High Chancellor Velar Thrix. Back at the outpost, Trex walked through the halls, passing wounded fighters and newly arrived volunteers. He paused at a wall covered in names, those who had died in battle. He saw the names of the 2 ship captains who had sacrificed everything to save the moon base. One was human, the other was Zaraki, a bird-like species that once served the Council. "They died for us," Rhea said, standing beside him. "No," Trex replied. "They died for something bigger, for the right to live free." He turned to the command team. "It's time to finish this. We've waited long enough. We take the fight to them." We go to Etherian Prime, the Council's capital, and we end it. The room went quiet. Then slowly heads nodded. This was no longer just a human rebellion. It was a galaxy rising up. The sky above Etherian Prime was too perfect. A giant ring of silver light circled the black star at its center. The planet-sized station, home of the Galactic Council, shimmered like polished stone. No one had ever dared attack it. No one had ever gotten close, until now. Drex Forn stood on the command deck of the Vigilant Dawn, eyes fixed on the screen. "This is it," he said. "No more running, no more hiding. We bring them down today." Beside him, Rhea gave a sharp nod. "Every resistance ship is in position. We're ready." Across space, hundreds of ships from dozens of worlds waited in silence. Human fighters, alien gunships, stolen council frigates, all united under one cause: freedom. Drex took a breath. "Open the channel." The comms officer tapped the console. Drex's voice echoed across every ship, every comm network, every listening ear in the galaxy. "This is Commander Drex Forn. The Council thinks it can silence us, control us, break us. But today, we show them the truth. Today, we are not alone." He paused, then said the last words slowly. "Today, we take back our future." The resistance fleet surged forward. The sky turned to fire. Council defense towers lit up, firing beams of searing blue light. Resistance ships danced through the chaos, dodging, weaving, returning fire. Explosions flashed like lightning. Hulls cracked, engines flared. But the resistance pressed on. Drex and his team slipped through in a stealth shuttle, flying straight toward the central tower of the council seat. It was time to face the real enemy, High Chancellor Velar Thrix. Inside the tower, everything was quiet. Polished floors, tall, cold walls, rows of guards in silver armor blocked the hallways. Drex, Rhea and Kordax fought through with precision and fury, clearing a path to the High Chancellor's chamber. Velar Thrix stood tall and still. He looked down at Drex with pale, ancient eyes. "You are the disease," Velar said calmly. "Chaos dressed as justice. You bring war, not peace." Drex kept his voice steady. "You burned our colonies. You turned our people into lab experiments. We begged for peace. You gave us silence and death." Velar shook his head. "Your species is unstable, emotional, dangerous. The Council exists to protect balance." "No," Drex said. "You protect control. And today, it ends." Velar raised a hand to signal his guards, but they didn't move. One by one the guards stepped aside. Behind Drex, the resistance had entered the chamber. Alien soldiers, human fighters, former Council allies who had turned. No one would protect the Chancellor now. Drex stepped forward. "We could kill you here, right now." Velar's voice cracked. "Then do it." "No," Drex said. "You don't get the easy way out. You'll face the galaxy. You'll answer for everything you've done." He turned to the resistance fighters. "Arrest him." 2 soldiers cuffed the High Chancellor. It was over. Outside, the Council's flag fell from the tower. Cheers erupted across the fleet, across planets, across colonies. Species that had feared speaking now raised their voices in celebration. The Council was no more. Drex walked through the halls of the shattered capital, tired but alive. His arm was wrapped in a bandage, his eyes heavy, but his heart was still strong. Rhea came to his side. "We did it," she said. Drex looked out a tall window, watching stars burn through the darkness. "No," he replied. "We all did it, together." For the first time in a long time the galaxy was free. The war was over. The Galactic Council had fallen. Etherian Prime was no longer a fortress. It was a symbol of what the galaxy had endured. Its towers stood broken. Its halls echoed with silence. The power that ruled for centuries had been torn down by those it tried to control. But peace didn't return overnight. Drex Forn knew that. He stood in the ruins of the council chamber, looking up at the stars through a shattered ceiling. Light from distant suns shone down like hope breaking through the dark. Outpost Ember had become something more than a hidden base. It was now the heart of a new alliance, one made not through fear or force but trust. Leaders from dozens of species gathered there. Former enemies sat at the same table. No titles, No crowns. Just voices, equal and free. Drex refused to lead the new order. I'm a soldier, he said, not a ruler. This belongs to all of us now. Still, they looked to him for guidance. He offered what he could. Advice, warnings, memories, but never power. Back on Earth, things were different too. The colonies rebuilt. The people mourned their dead, but they also celebrated the future. Monuments rose where ashes once lay. Children played in streets once marked by loss. Drex visited the Mars Memorial on a quiet morning. A long black wall held the names of the fallen. He ran his hand over one in silence. Jonah Vorn, Daniel Vorn, his brother, his nephew. He closed his eyes. You're free now, he whispered. We all are. Rhea stayed by his side in the weeks that followed. She had grown into her own leader. Strong, thoughtful, calm. Together they helped shape the early steps of a galaxy learning how to heal. One day she asked him, "What will you do now?" Drex smiled slightly. "Disappear. Again, you always disappear." "Not this time," he said. "Just stepping back, letting others lead. That's how it should be." A few days later, Drex boarded a small ship. No name, no escort. Just a quiet engine and a long road ahead. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't need to. He had done what he came to do. As his ship left orbit, he looked once more at the stars. There was peace now. Not perfect, not easy, but real, and that was enough.